It's like beyond our imagination how Krishna does what he does. And then Srila Prabhupada says in another place, in the fall, the leaves come off the trees. Most of the men, I guess you do the work at home, right? You're raking the leaves. And then Prabhupada says, the next spring, Krishna puts every single leaf back on the tree, exactly where it's supposed to go. How is that possible? Did you ever think, who puts the leaf back on the tree? Krishna does it by his own arrangement. Parasya Shaktir, Vividhaiva Shuyate, Sabhaviki Jnana, Bala Kriyacha. He has so many energies, and they're all working nicely under his control. Mayad Yakshena, Prakriti, Asuyate, Sacharacharam. All the energies working under Krishna's control. When Lord Bharata understood that Lord Ramchandra was returning to the capital Ayodhya, he immediately took upon his own head Lord Ramchandra's wooden shoes and came out from his camp at Nandigram. Lord Bharata was accompanied by ministers, priests, and other respectable citizens, by professional musicians, vibrating pleasing musical sounds, and by learned brahmanas loudly chanting Vedic hymns. So let's chant one Vedic hymn very loud. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, loud. If you want to get fancy, we can go, oh. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Again. One more. Oh. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Most of the Vedic mantras have Om. Om is not different from the Lord. He says it in Bhagavad Gita. I am this Om, none different from Krishna. Of course, now in the Western society, Om has become a big foundation for meditation. But they don't think about Krishna, they just think about Om. And that becomes impersonal. Chant Om, you read Bhagavad Gita, you'll see Krishna says, I am that Om. So when you're thinking Om, you should think of Krishna. The chariots were decorated by flags with golden embroidery and by other flags of various sizes and patterns. There were soldiers bedecked with golden armor, servants bearing betel nut, and many well-known, now this is an interesting part, don't be too embarrassed or shocked. He said he was servants bearing betel nuts and many well-known and beautiful prostitutes. I know that's a little controversial, but in Ayodhya, there were such things. Not like we have in the Western society now, different. They were called society girls. They were very highly respected in the culture. Many servants followed on foot, bearing an umbrella, whisk, different grades of precious jewels, and other paraphernalia, befitting the royal order. No, befitting a royal reception. Accompanied in this way, Lord Bharata, his heart softened in ecstasy, and his eyes full of tears, approached Lord Ramchandra and fell at his lotus feet with great ecstatic love. It says in Shastra, if you want to become a pure devotee, it is so easy. You can simply say this, my dear Lord Ramchandra, from this day I am yours. Don't say it. Because if you say it, that means you have to follow through. My dear Lord Ramchandra, from this day I am yours. That means everything you do from that point, you do for the pleasure of Ramchandra. Then you become a pure devotee. Pure devotee is described anyabhilasata sunyam, jnana karmana nabritam, anukuyena krishna anu, silanam bhakti uttama. Has no karmic desire, no gyan, doesn't want to become great scholar, doesn't want to become very rich, free of all of that, then you can become pure devotee. So I'm going to go to the part that I want to finish with. We have a little time, and we'll discuss a little bit. This is from the same chapter 10, verse 45. Let's see. No. Verse number 51, Sanskrit. Tritayam vartamanayam kala krita samobhavat Rame rajani dharma gye Sarvabhuta Sukhavahai. Lord Ramchandra became king during Treta Yuga. Another test. How many yugas are there? What are the names? Yes. So Ramchandra came, Treta Yuga, right after Satya Yuga. That's approximately millions of years ago. Side point, most scholars don't accept this. Most Sanskrit scholars, Vedic scholars, they don't accept Ramchandra was a real person. So when you start talking about millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years, there's a big debate going on. Fortunately, I work with some devotees, very scholarly group. One Prabhupada disciple, his name is Dhruta Karma, Michael Cremo. And he's done extensive research to establish the historical significance of what's said in the Bhagavatam in terms of the years and the ages, improving. And also, there's also one young man in India that's doing some documentary on Dwarka, proving that Dwarka was a real place. You have to understand, most of the people do not believe Krishna was real, even in India. We love festivals. Get all nicely dressed up, nice for show. We love festivals. But we're doing it for Krishna and Lord Ramchandra. But do we remember it? Sometimes I think about Christmas, because I grew up in America, and Christmas is and was a big deal. But now they say most people don't even connect Christmas with Jesus. Specifically, that time, the 25th of December, is not the time he appeared. That time, Christians co-opted a pagan festival in Europe because it was a big deal. So they just made it together, Okay, fine. So we should remember the significance of these days. In the one prayer by one Vaishnava saint, he says, these days are the mother of devotion for the devotees who respect them. These Janmashtami, Vyas Puja, Gaur Purnima, Diwali, all these days, Govardhan Puja, but we have to respect them. How do we respect them? Give them the credit they're due. Ramchandra was on this planet. Krishna was on this planet. Great acharyas were on this planet. But just like in the Christian tradition, they have not fully established that Jesus Christ walked on this planet. It took years to get to the point where they are now. And I say this with all humility. Let us not wait for 2,000, 3,000 years and then come back and try to figure out if Prabhupada was real. Christians are trying to figure out, is Jesus real? I touched Prabhupada. You may not trust me. I don't blame you if you don't trust me. But I touched his body. He's real. I heard his voice. Many devotees heard his voice. Sat in front of him. So when he tells us something, we only have one choice, to accept what he says or reject it, not have faith. So he's encouraging us to have faith in Ramchandra. Diwali is a chance to increase your faith in Ramchandra. We read the other night, it's called Urdhva Vrata. Vrata means a vow. So in this Diwali, Kartik time, you should make a vow. I told one devotee yesterday, I said, at least make a vow to wake up in the morning and say, Hare Krishna. I didn't say wake up and chant 16 rounds because I know they weren't going to do it. See? But when you wake up, and I jokingly said, don't go to the phone and see what happened last night on CNN. You just burn your brain out. Wake up and Hare Krishna. Everyone say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can you please do that at least when you wake up in the morning during Kartik? I would ask you to chant 16 rounds, but I know you're not going to do it. Some of you already do it. But one round of Hare Krishna, everyone can do. How long does it take, one round? 10 minutes, maximum, maybe 15, even if it takes 15 minutes. You can say, okay, for the rest of Kartik, I'm going to do at least one round. Well, I don't have japa beads. Well, count on your fingers. I don't care. Just chant. Huh? Yeah, like a clicker. There's a funny story about that thing. Japa Maharaj has one disciple. Mahaguna knows this story. He was a big industrialist person, a big factory, and everyone's working under him. But he's also a Hare Krishna devotee chanting 16 rounds every day. So show that thing again. It's called a clicker. So he would walk around the floor of the place, and all the employees, he would be clicking, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. And the people said, boss man, what are you doing? I'm checking on you. But he was chanting his rounds. You can do it. I met a young man last night. His name is Tapas. What does tapas mean? Austerity, tapa. Tapo divyam putraka yena sujje. Divine austerity, tapo, tapa. So let's do a little austerity. We don't have to go to the Himalayan mountains and sit in freezing cold water up to here, sit in a circle of fire, panchagni, 5 kinds of fire, 4 around you, 1 on top of you. You don't even have to get up for Mangal Arati. It'd be nice if you did. 1 round in Kartik. And then what happened is, you get a taste. Then you want to chant 2 rounds, then 4, then on and on and on. When Prabhupada first came, he wanted us to chant 64 rounds. Thank God it wasn't in the process when I joined. The 16. What a merciful thing. So here, let's get back to this. We got the 4 yugas. Everyone was religious and completely happy during the time of Ramchandra. Purport by His Divine Grace, who? A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Among the 4 yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali, Kali Yuga is the worst. But if the process of Varnashram Dharma is introduced, even in this age of Kali, the situation of Satya Yuga can be invoked. I've been saying this so long, I feel like a broken record. We complain about Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, Kalaya Doshanadi, Rajan, it's very bad. Kali Yuga is so bad. Everyone born is Sudra, Kalau, Sudra, Sambhava. We say all these things with so much authority, but we don't say this with the same conviction. What is that? We can change Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga really is a state of consciousness and is symptomized by lying. Lying increases the effect of Kali Yuga. Lying. Everyone's lying. You can't trust anything or anyone. Like all the TV commercials. Bunch of lies. This thing is better than that thing. Politicians, this one's better than that one. Lies everywhere, lies. So if we stop lying, because that devotees should not lie, or at least should try your best, then we can start to affect the atmosphere. Lies go into the atmosphere and affect the people. So, the last part he said, the situation of Satya Yuga can be invoked. There was only one class of people in Satya Yuga. Now we have 4 classes. What are they? Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. In Satya Yuga, there's only one. Not Brahman, Kshatriya, it's called Satya. A Hamsa, Hamsa. Hamsa means a swan. So all the people in Satya Yuga were like swans. Like Prabhupada is called Paramahamsa, swan-like person. So can you imagine a world of swan-like people? Problem is, no one said anything because you can't even imagine it. But you have to imagine it first. There's a very famous quote, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. Prabhupada believed it, he conceived it, he achieved it. We're all kind of like not so sure yet. We have to be convinced that Krishna consciousness can impact the world in a positive way. So it goes on real quick. Oh, what is the purpose of the Hare Krishna movement? Who can say? Yes, Bhakti Evan. Krishna consciousness. Sia, what do you say? Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada says the Hare Krishna movement or Krishna consciousness movement is meant for this purpose. What is that purpose? To turn Kali Yuga into Satya Yuga. That's the purpose of the movement. The purpose of this movement is not to accumulate lots of money, not even to build many, many temples. The purpose of the movement is to take Kali Yuga, make it Satya Yuga. Kaler Doshana De Rajan, Asti Heko Mahanguna, like Mahaguna. This is where her name comes from, Mahaguna. Kirtanat Eva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Parambhajet. My dear king, so this is the quote, my dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, wow, there's still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mantra. Let's all chant. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Again, I emphasize, we don't have enough faith yet. We still think there's some other cure for the world. We really do. We think there's going to be some technological advancement that's going to solve all the problems. I mean, I've been around a long time, and I've seen a lot of technological advancement. Still, I'm dying. I've heard so many, oh, you're going to be able to live this many years. When I was a kid, they had this thing about, what do they call it, freezing you, and then they wake you up in a few hundred years. What's it called? There's a name. Cryogenics. I think Michael Jackson wanted to do that. They freeze you, and then they wake you up in a few thousand years when everything is so wonderful. I was so stupid I believed it. I'm waiting for it to come. There's a new medicine that's going to come. You inject it, you'll live for many hundreds of years. But the great Acharya says, what is the use in living hundreds of years if you don't become a devotee? Sukadeva Goswami says, like the bellows of a blacksmith, woof, 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 like that, right? It's breathing, but what's the use? No life. We're breathing, but what are we doing with our breaths? Every breath takes away your life. You're not judged by years, you're judged by how many times you breathe. That's why yogis slow down pranayam. You should wonder, why they do pranayam? They slow the breathing down so they can extend their life. Prabhupada actually said, there are some yogis in the Himalayan mountains 500 years old, 700 years old, 800 years old, because they don't breathe. They stay in the mountain, you know, the Naga Babas, and they just do pranayam, slow everything down, and they live for a long, long time. So one good thing about Kali Yuga is simply by chanting Hare Krishna. In another place it says, the demigods are waiting in line to be born in Kali Yuga. Because in Kali Yuga, you can simply chant Hare Krishna and go back to Godhead. You don't have to wait for millions of years. Lord Brahma lives for 311 trillion years. And demigods live for millions of years. We don't have to do that. So that's from Bhagavatam 12th Canto, 3rd chapter, verse 51. If people take to this Sankirtan movement of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, they will certainly be freed from the contamination of Kali Yuga. And the people of this age will be happy, as people were in Satya Yuga, the golden age. I went today for a few minutes to the Diwali festival at Cumming City Hall, what do they call City Center? Thousands of people. Thousands. I was amazed how many people were there, how many cars. And I'm just thinking, wow, if everyone there were chanting Hare Krishna, what would happen to Forsyth County? If those thousands of people just started chanting Hare Krishna. Suppose. So you got to conceive it, to believe it, to achieve it. So conceive of this, that same location, all of us, thousands of us, just chanting Hare Krishna. Recently in Florida, the devotees gathered. It was 4,000 plus devotees, and they had a kirtan festival. But in my mind, I'm thinking, we need to be out in the public, thousands of devotees chanting Hare Krishna. And the impact on that location and anywhere within the jurisdiction would be marvelous, wonderful, amazing. So anyone, anywhere can easily take to this Hare Krishna movement. One need only chant a Hare Krishna Mahamantra, observe the rules and regulations, and stay free from the contamination of sinful life. You notice it didn't say you have to move into a temple, you have to shave your hair, you have to change your clothes, You have to give up your job. He didn't say that. Anywhere, any person, anytime. Even if one is sinful and cannot give up sinful life immediately, if he chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra with devotion and faith, he will certainly be freed from all sinful activities. I'm looking for my new friend. I don't see him now. Where is he? Anyway, I was talking with one gentleman earlier today, and he's chanting Hare Krishna. He only came to the temple 1 week ago. Now he's chanting. So he was asking me about the chanting. So I told him the secret is chant with love. So I said, do you understand love? Do you have children? He said, I have 2. How do you show love to your children? So he finally understood that the secret is attention, paying attention, being attentive. That's like a primary aspect of love. You want to demonstrate love? The person you say you love, they're talking to you and you're looking this way. You know, I know because I do that myself. Mahaguna can attest. My wife sometimes complains, Balabhaja doesn't talk to me. So the point is, if I love the person, right, Sia, I love you. So I'm paying attention to you. I love this young lady. She's so sweet, wonderful. So if you love someone, you pay attention. So if you want to show love to the holy name, what do? I just said it. Attentively. With the mind. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. The mind has to be engaged. Mana mana mandhire. Bhajahure mana. Everywhere it talks about this mind. And Rupa Goswami says in his Nectar of Instruction, Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam. Vega means like a urge or pulling or pushing. So you have to control the urge of the mind. Manasa Krodha. Krodha means anger. So engage that in chanting the holy name of the Lord. Parambi Jayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Now this last part is the punchline, it's the essence. You have to hear it. Actually, to make you understand it, please repeat after me. This is the blessing. I don't believe you because you said it too soft. One more time. Or as we say in East Point, one more time. Of Lord Ramchandra, who has appeared in this age of Kali as, what's the name of the deities here? Nitai Gaurasundar. Has appeared in the age of Kali as Lord Gaurasundar. He's right there on the altar. Right there on the altar. Ramchandra is right there on the altar as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So even though we don't have the Ramchandra Murti here, but we have Lord Chaitanya, same. So when you say Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, what does Hare Ram mean? 2 things. Balaram and Ramchandra. Same. Same. So let us, yes, quick question. Hare is the name for Radharani, the energy of the Lord. When you pray, my dear Lord Krishna, my dear Lord Ram, my dear Srimati Radharani, energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. More than Shakti. Shakti comes, Radharani is the source of all the Shaktis, all the Devis. She's practically non-different in terms of potency as Krishna. Yes, yes. It's called, what is that Sanskrit word? Not the Dakshta, huh? Ladini Shakti, he knows. Great scholar here. So we'll stop with that. Anyone has a quick question about Ramchandra? Do we understand what the purpose of Diwali is now? What's the purpose? To give Balabhaja some nice sweets? I don't mind. You have the sweets? Okay, you get your hand up. Go ahead. Why does he have to come before? I'm not sure because I'd have to research a little bit. Maybe Prabhu knows, or you can research the Shastras, probably mention something about that. I don't know right off, but I'll look into it for you. Yes, you have a comment? Anyone know? To bring in the principles of Dharma, because he came like a king. Yat yat acharati shrestha. So when Krishna says that verse in Bhagavad Gita 3:21, he can look back at Ramchandra because he was perfect. It's called Ram Raja. And Prabhupada said earlier that people are crying in India, Ram Raja. You're not going to get it in DeKalb County or unless we inspire the leaders. Prabhupada tried to inspire Mahatma Gandhi. He wrote him a letter specifically trying to inspire him. You have to understand, as devotees, you have full authority to go and try to encourage anyone to be Krishna conscious. Don't be shy. Don't be timid. Don't be intimidated. Go to the mayor. Go to the president. Go to the king. And you tell them. It's like that one story of Jada Bharata. It's a long story, so I'm not going to get into it. But this Jada Bharata was the third birth of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj became a deer, and he became Jad Bharat. But in the birth of Jad Bharat, he acted like he was dumb. He couldn't learn how to chant Gayatri, nothing, because he didn't want to get entangled in the world. So they took him, they meaning these dacoits, they took him, and they made him a slave carrying the king, King Rahugana. So he's carrying the king, but there were some ants on the road, and Jad Bharata doesn't want to cause any pain. So he's like not carrying this thing nicely. And the king says, "You idiot, what are you doing? Carry my thing nicely." But then when Jad Bharata opened his mouth and started to speak, the king transformed, became very Krishna conscious. So don't be shy. You explain Krishna consciousness. That is our duty. You're from India. Most of you are from India. I'm from East Point. You may have heard of that place. So you're all from India. What does it say? Bharata bhumite haila. Manusya janma yara. Janma sartak kari kara para upakar. That means you're born in Bharat, not India. Stop this, India. It's Bharat. And you're called Bharatiyas. Right? Am I wrong? Not wrong. Even if you say I'm wrong, I'm not going to accept it. I'm right. I wrote a quote, and this is my quote. You have a right to your opinion, but it doesn't mean your opinion is always right. Keep that in your mind. Because we all say this and we say that, but we don't know. So we're lucky to have Srila Prabhupada to guide us. So all of the leaders of the world are waiting on us to give them Krishna consciousness, to guide them. Don't be shy. In Atlanta in 1974, the temple president of the Atlanta temple, he ran for mayor of Atlanta. And my first service was to Haribol Bauji. Come, please. Haribol. Good to see you. Haribol Mataji. Haribol. No, come sit here. Madhuya. Sit. Bring this chair close. I'm not going to mess up your last name, but I can say Bob. Bob is with the city council of Johns Creek. Johns Creek. And he was here on the original inauguration of our temple. Mahagun, I think you've invited him many times for Rath Yatra. He's actually currently running for an office here in Johns Creek, but he's a big supporter of this temple, very big supporter, and a big supporter of Rath Yatra, New Panihati Dham Rath Yatra. So we welcome him, please everybody. So I just finished with this last thought one more time, that do not be shy to share your faith with others. I know sometimes, especially coming from India, you want to fit in, you want to be like, people to appreciate, respect. So sometimes we don't talk about Krishna. We don't. I mean, I have the great fortune, I was telling someone earlier today, I have been to jail for talking about Krishna, at least 5 times. Seriously, by talking about Bhagavad Gita, trying to sell Bhagavad Gita, thrown into the jail. Those are some happy times. Very happy times. Yeah, in Georgia. Actually, not only Georgia, Alabama. And not Mississippi, but Alabama. It was very special, Decatur, Alabama. I loved it. No fear. When you take Bhagavad Gita, as Arjun finally did, all this fear goes away. Because fear means you don't know it's like the unknown. But if we have faith in Krishna and have faith in the words of Srila Prabhupada, and we share that with everyone, we can see a measurable change in the consciousness of the people of the world. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki, Shri Diwali Mahotsav ki.
Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for coming over to the Diwali celebrations. And as Ballabhadra Prabhu have just introduced, I'd like to welcome Bob Eramalli and his beloved wife Shyamala Garu. Can you please? Okay. Shyamala Garu. Okay, as Ballabhadra Prabhu has also already told, Bob is Johns Creek City Council member, serving this community from past 4 years. Haribo! We are very proud to have our fellow Sanatani Dharma and Indian to be a Johns Creek Council for past 4 years, and he is contesting for the next term as well. And we would like to all of you to support him. Just to give his past, so why we are going to support as a Sanatana Dharma supporter. He was the president of Sai Temple and ex-Indian Army. He was in Air Force. So he has such a rich background, rich history, culture and all. So we came to know Bob by help of Radha Krishna Prabhuji. So whenever we have any issues with this temple, the permissions and this floating one temple here in Forsyth County is very difficult. We have to undergo so many designs, changes and all. So whenever we knock his door, he was always there for us, for helping out, and he's one of the very important part of this temple right from the beginning. So thank you, Bob, for helping of our temple float. And now you see the result. Being a Diwali day, you see so many devotees coming and presiding and celebrating with us. Vamshi Prabhuji, can we have Bob and Shyamala Garu? Yes, can you? Salvo, can you get one more chair here? Give to Ballabhadra Prabhu. Haribo, Haribo. Bob, can you have a word with all of us?
It's very hard act to follow somebody like him. Radha, my friend, he asked me, can you speak a little about our Sanatana Dharma? I said, this is like showing a candle to the sun. How can I follow him after what he says? But certain experiences in your life illustrate certain core beliefs you have. I remember when my son was growing up he was about maybe 10, 11 years old. When he came home and asked me the question, Dad, I believe we worship elephants and monkeys. I said, son, that may be true, but that's not the complete truth. That is the time I told him about karmanye vadhirastha. That is what Sanatana Dharma, which Krishna Prabhu told us. Sanatan is a set of values which are coming from eternity. And Lord Krishna crystallized them in Bhagavad Gita. So when I talked to him about Karmanya Vadirastha, he said, Dad, I didn't know about this. I said, son, you don't know a lot, so do I. Therefore, I come to occasions like this and listen to him, listen to others who are much more knowledgeable than us. Because as much as you think we know a lot, if you know more, you definitely know that you don't know enough. So that's when I told him, son, when you grow up, I think you will be in a better position to understand what our religion or our dharma means. Coming back to the last sentences he said, he went to jail 5 times. I never knew that. I knew him for last probably 15, 16 years. I came to Atlanta in 99. Since then, somewhere or the other, I always run into him. And he said, last sentence of his is, don't be ashamed of your faith. Don't be ashamed of your faith. Don't fight shy of talking about your faith. That is very, very critical. He also told you that I was ex-Indian military. I was a combat pilot for Indian Air Force. One of the things they taught us was, if you take one step back, the enemy will come one step forward. Therefore, every time you fight shy of not talking about your religion, it is open to misunderstanding and misinterpretation. So please, you don't have to beat your chest and say, my religion is the best, but you can always say some explanation which comes from our eternal granths, like Bhagavad Gita. So please, it is very nice to hear him, but to practice what he says is difficult, but that is the message for us today. Whatever he said, let's follow it. The last sentence lives with me. If I don't fight for my religion, who else will come and defend it? I can tell you firsthand, my wife is a physician. Do you know, when I was Sai Temple president, we took a loan of $4 million. We cleared that loan in 1.5 year. Contrast this with people who lose their faith. If there anybody from Caribbean, I'm not trying to insult you or do anything. But think about this. A lot of Indians were transmigrated to Caribbean to work in the fields of Venezuela and all the other places, Caribbean. Think of it, they didn't have internet, they didn't have mail, they didn't have so many things in common reach, right? So what do? How do they preserve their religion? How do they preserve the Sanatan Dharma without the help of others? Therefore, they started losing the religion. They had to integrate locally because they didn't even know where the next relative of theirs is. Even if he's 10 miles away, he could have been 100 miles away. They just don't know. So they started integrating with the local culture. I can tell you, we had few employees from that demographic. Are they any different than people whom you hear of? That lady was 38-year-old. She was trying to date somebody. Her kid, 16-year-old, she was already having a baby without wedding. Her son, 14-year-old guy, went to jail for wrong reasons. Not like him, defending a faith. This is what I'm trying to say. When you lose your faith, it is not just some rituals you're losing. You're losing it is eating away at the core of your being. There is nothing you can stand for. That is why it is very, very important that we have to preserve. Don't expect somebody else to come and fight for our dharma. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bob, for a valuable insight of integration. So, as I told earlier, Bob is contesting for the next term. Please support him, possible. Thank you so much. And Vamshi Prabhu, can you have Bob and to give Damodar Arti? Prabhuji, can you? Can I now request Madhavi Mataji to become? Okay, today's Sunday Love Feast sponsor, we have two sponsors. First is Madhavi Mataji. She's celebrating her cute son Abhiram's birthday. I think she's celebrating, she's doing Varotsavam. So her birthday was on 16th, his birthday was on 16th. Abhiram, your cake is ready. How many cakes have you eaten so far? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, wait, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So his name is Abhiram. We are going to sing Happy Birthday, Abhiram. So you remember his name, right? Abhiram. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Abhiram. Happy birthday to you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. All of us are going to raise our hands up in the sky and bless Abhiram to become very successful, both materially and spiritually growing up. So we're going to chant 3 times Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Last time, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Also, we have another sponsor for today's Sunday feast. Akash Prabhuji, can you come here with your family? Alpesh Prabhu. Alpesh Prabhuji. Ramesh Bhai Prabhu and Surya Ben. So that it's so awesome. They're not only sponsoring this feast, but also they cooked. They were here from the afternoon, 12 o'clock, both of this couple, and Alpesh Prabhu is always here. So they cut the vegetables, okay, they cooked. They're serving their special dishes today. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Mataji, and Alpesh Prabhu. As usual, We have been thanking him very often. Thank you so much. So all this technology, all these lives is Alpesh Prabhu. He got KT from the Prabhuji and he's helping us from them. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yeah, Bob, that's how we celebrate our birthdays or any special events in midst of the devotees and get their blessings. Thank you so much for coming. And please honor Prashadam. Okay. Okay. Final call. Has anyone not done the Damodar Arati so far? So Mataji just came. So just see this Mataji's, what he's going to do. This is Damodar month and we have to offer Damodar Arati to Yashoda Damodar. So anyone has not done so far, please line up and do the Arati. And we are going to close this darshan and we'll start serving Prashadam.